Hey, FYI, there's a brief tornado warning. All right. Yes. Meteorologist Corallys Ortiz here. Something we've been mentioning over the last 24 hours is our risk for some strong to severe storms in the forecast for us this weekend and for today. We've been tracking all throughout the afternoon and into our evening, and we actually do have a tornado warning storm right now for Deshay County. A little bit about this storm. I'm going to go ahead, if we can switch right over into radar so we can have a better look at this storm. It has been radar indicated, nothing confirmed at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in at this storm right now. Tornado warning in effect until at least 7:30 this evening. This storm has kind of had a little bit of a suspicious history over the last couple of hours. It's currently radar indicated, as mentioned. It's a storm capable of producing a tornado currently located over the community of Watson, or about 9 miles north of Aurora, moving towards the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. I know this is somewhat almost out of the viewing area, and I know that this region is not as densely populated, but we still have people in the area monitoring. Of course, can still be impacted by this storm. Nothing visual yet besides a report possibly from a storm chaser of a brief funnel cloud, and that's why they also kind of put that warning for a tornado warning. Also, I was looking at some signs earlier. If we can actually switch on over to our Storm Track 11, I wanted to show a little bit of a history of what the rotation looked like of this storm, which is why they were issuing that tornado warning. So in this tool, our Storm Track 11 is called NROT, so it just helps us determine where some of that rotation is. I'm going to back it up just a little bit because it was a little bit more defined, and this is just before they issued that tornado warning, as you can see right at the edge there near Deshay and Arkansas counties there. And then continuing to move forward to that rotation was still pretty defined as it kind of near the community of Watson there, and then they eventually issued that warning. And right now the circulation is not nearly as defined, but it's still hanging on, and we're actually seeing reports of hail over 1.5 inch in size. So pretty large hail there. That's still making its trek towards the south and east at the moment. So what I'm going to do, we can go back towards our regular radar if we can to max 1. Just seeing some reports of golf ball size hail from that same storm as well. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a closer look at this storm. I'm going to go ahead and pause that real quick. Again, this storm is in effect, this warning, until 7 o'clock. I'm going to switch over to the live winds mode so we have a better idea where the circulation will roughly be. Not very well defined. Again, it's very far away from that radar site. I'll go ahead and put a general idea where some of that circulation will be located, just near the community of Watson there. An even closer look so we can see, you have a better idea what roads or landmarks may be around. Again, this is an area that's not very densely populated. It's very close to where Highway 1 is right there. You can see just to our left we have Stevens Road. So if you you recognize that area, if you know anybody who happens just to be in that general area, make sure to give them a heads up. Of course, with that, this storm is moving towards the south and east at 25. It hasn't been moving very much. That storm has kind of been hovering across southeast Arkansas over the past couple of hours. So just see, I will go ahead and update the path just so we can just time it out. Again, it's mostly almost out of our viewing area, but of course we want to stay on here and keep you guys updated just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and put a track on that storm moving again towards the south and east at about 25. So not moving very fast at all. Nothing visual besides that brief funnel that was reported not that long ago on that storm. So again, St. Mary's Church, that's like one of the only things it's picking up right now in terms of landmarks in the area. Again, this is near the Delta region, so it's mostly farmland. Fortunately, less of a densely populated area, so less impacts there. But of course, we still have to be mindful for those folks who still live there, of course. They're continuing, just another update, they are continuing this tornado warning. It's still in radar indicated until 7:30, so they just extended that. That's what you see, that warning, that polygon right there. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, but further into Mississippi, they're holding on to that warning as a severe thunderstorm warning. But we're still going to hold on at least for another 7 minutes or so to see if we have any significant changes with that storm. Right now, nothing has been confirmed. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to our live radar. Lots of lightning within this storm for sure. I'm going to go ahead and highlight how much lightning has kind of been indicated. I'll go ahead and take off these warnings that are being popped up. But a good indication of the strength of a storm is just highlighting how much lightning there is. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that mode real quick for you guys. So plenty of lightning. We're going to go ahead and go back on that after and just kind of check up on that as well. But just I'm going to go ahead and do a quick reset. I'm going to do a statewide view right now. This is the only tornado warned storm that we have in the entire state. We actually had quite a bit of severe thunderstorm warnings. As you can see, a lot of that's kind of focused right over near the Delta region, just outside and south of Memphis, northern portions of Mississippi. But elsewhere across the state, we've had reports of pretty large hail from some of the storms that were brewing over in parts of central Arkansas. A lot of that activity has since died down. And then we also have a cluster of non-severe storms just outside of Newport there. You can see for parts of Jackson County, parts of Independence County, just north of Interstate 40. Nothing else of concern here in the metro for us. We're just keeping an eye out for this storm that's kind of sitting by itself in parts of Deshay County. This warning is in effect for at least another 5 minutes. Hail reports from this were pretty large hail, over 1 inch in diameter. Just wanted to go ahead and pull up this graphic real quick. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock. So you can see all those counties highlighted in pink. It does look like several counties across northern portions of the state have been dropped. There is a cold front currently pushing on through, so a lot of the activity is along and ahead of that front, which is why some counties have been dropped in northern Arkansas and a few more were added in southeast Arkansas. And just because we are under a severe thunderstorm watch doesn't mean that tornadoes aren't favorable. This is something we've kind of mentioned in the forecast, that the tornado threat was slim, but it wasn't necessarily zero. This is what we're seeing in terms of that severe storm outlook in that same general area. Most of the state was under a level 2 out of 5. Go ahead and load that up real quick. But you can see the small area highlighted in that orange at level 3 out of 5. That's where we had a little bit of that higher threat, and that's where we're seeing a lot more of that activity occur. So that's why I just wanted you guys to be just weather aware. And it just takes one little storm to cause a problem, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and switch right back onto radar. I've just kind of been watching our Storm Track 11 to see how that circulation has been going on that storm. It hasn't been nearly as impressive. It does look like it's starting to show signs of weakening, which is definitely great. And it's also good to know that it's in an area where it's not densely populated, but of course we still have people who live near that region, lots of farmland, of course, still plenty of lighting with that storm. It does look like they extended that warning until 7:30, so I think they're going to hold on to that. I'm going to go ahead and do another closer look at this storm. I'm going to go ahead and take off these warnings that are popping up real quick, and I'll try to switch over to our live winds mode so we can see if there's a better way of telling where that rotation is. It's really difficult to tell. Again, it's pretty far from the radar site. I'm going to back this up a little bit just so I can see whether or not I can, where the defined rotation is. So just outside the community of Watson there. Again, it's not very defined, so I'm not going to put a specific track on that just yet, but I will zoom in the general area where I do think it is located. That little triangle near Watson, Kelso, Rosedale. I do feel like it's in this general area. Moving towards the south and east, it's very slow moving at around 25 miles per hour. I think they did this as just a precaution, and also based off of just some visual reports of a brief funnel from that storm. And nothing has touched the ground that we know of as of yet. Of course, if you ever have any reports, you can always send them to us at 501-376-1111, of course, when it is safe to do so. This storm is just about to exit into Mississippi. So of course we're just going to hang on to this because it's again very slow moving. I'll go ahead and switch right back into live radar for you guys so you have a better idea how the storm is looking like. I'm going to backtrack it just a little bit so we can kind of see how the history of that storm that was known for producing quite large hail. Actually, let me go ahead and switch over to the hail now mode, because right now, as you can see, the bright oranges at the core of that storm, about ping pong size hail up to an inch in diameter, so quarter to ping pong size hail. Just giving you a good idea. I think there's reports of even larger than that earlier as well. So right over where you have the communities of Kelso, Deuce, and it's just south of the community of Watson to the east of Highway 1 there. That's where we're seeing the core of that storm. So I'll go ahead and switch right back into live radar for you guys. Plenty of lightning being indicated with this storm as well. I'm going to go ahead and check to see what the lightning count is real quick here for you guys. If it wants to go ahead and show up real quick. All right, so the lightning, quite a bit of that. Doesn't look like, here it is. Doesn't look like it wants to show up in your end. There we go. Yeah, lots of lightning with that storm. I'm gonna go back and do the little of that path. You can see how that lightning has kind of just developed within that storm. So lots of lightning with that as well. So 144 strikes. There we go. It's just having an issue showing up live on air for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to a live radar. I'm just checking to see if there have been any updates with this storm in particular. Right now, nothing has been updated. They're just kind of keeping this warning until it begins to kind of cross on over across the Mississippi there. I'm going to go ahead and do another statewide view for those who are just tuning in. We are seeing a tornado warned storm in effect for parts of Deshay County. That's until 7:30. And that's just because there was a radar indicated storm, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over the community of Watson. It did have some history of rotation within that storm that's kind of been cycling up and down. Right now, it's not nearly as impressive and is very far from the radar site. Right now, that is our only tornado warned storm in the state. We've had several severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly across the eastern, northeastern portions of the state. So as of right now, according to the National Weather Service, they are still continuing that warning. I just saw the latest updates there. Nothing new besides right now is located near the community of Kelso, moving towards the southeast still at about 25 miles per hour. So for those just joining us right now as well, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. We are not under a tornado watch, but of course that watch is in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. We are seeing a cold front slowly push on through across the state through the rest of the evening. So a lot of the activity is kind of confined along and ahead of that front as well. So we are also under a level 2 out of 5, or a slight risk for some strong to severe storms for much of the state. Although I do think it's really going to be confined across the eastern portions, especially in those areas highlighted in that orange there, a level 3 out of 5. A lot of these storms have kind of been by themselves as well, which it's never something we want to see because they don't have anything kind of using up the energy around them. The tornado threat wasn't necessarily zero. It was definitely on the lower end, but really confined to a small area near the Delta region, which is what we're seeing right now. So as of right now, that tornado warning storm still holding on for another 28 minutes or so. It is beginning to make its exit towards outside of the state right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick zoom in real quick for you guys. I really want to stay on here until that warning expires. I know that for some there might not be a huge population there, but I think it's just better to just keep it safe and wait until that warning expires. It's a very slow moving storm towards the south and east. I'm going to do one more check to see how the winds are looking like. Let's go ahead and switch back to our storm track 11. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward a little bit, and you can see that that rotation really is not as well defined. I'm using a tool, it's called NROT. And if I want to go back towards the beginning at the history of this storm, you can see how it was a lot more defined, but then the rotation kind of just died down a little bit. So I think right now it is safe to say now that it's making its exit. I'm going to do one more quick recap before I let you guys go back to regular programming. Again, we are still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Of course, we'll have the latest updates here on THV11 coming up tonight at 10 in terms of that severe weather risk, which a lot of the activity should be already dying down by then. Of course, for those in Deschutes County, that warning still in effect until 7:30 this evening. Of course, we'll tune in to regular programming and keep you guys updated if there's any other warnings coming our way. But for now, I'm meteorologist Corallys Ortiz.